I have tried so many times this week to get a video uploaded and it kept going wrong, so I gave up. And then last night, while flicking through YouTube, I found a video that basically states that Joey Carbstrong and all the other vegans are basically crazy. So I thought, hey, I'll react to a handful of comments on this. So I thought this would be a laugh. So let's get into it and let's look at some comments. Oh yeah, and of course I will leave the video in the link below so you can check it out and you can give me your opinion as well. A lot of criminals turn to religion. In Joey's case, it's veganism. Well, I don't really know where you're going with that statement, really. I mean, isn't the whole point of human life to self-improve, progress, and reform, regardless of one's past? Religion tends to help the individual, spirituality and inner peace, all that. Veganism is in the physical world, it's an actual action which benefits others. It benefits the animals, the animal victims. Hardly a bad redemption, is it? Look at this comment. There is a huge difference between factory farming and ethical farming. I hate animal abuse, so I get my meat from an ethical, good farmer. Well, you haven't really looked into logistics much in farming because you'd realise that there really isn't much difference between factory farming and this so-called ethical, humane farming. Just smaller family farms do things a tiny bit differently to the factory farming. Free range accounts for nothing. Like if you look at poultry, like chickens and turkeys, they'll allow something like 9 chickens per square meter, so they're literally crawling over the top of each other. There's no real laws and legislations when it comes to pig farming. People can just slap free range on anything. Red tractor approved means absolute bollocks. So no, it's still bad. Animals still get artificially inseminated, overcrowding, have nasty procedures done to them like dehorning, disbudding, or castration, and they still end up in a slaughterhouse where they suffer. Have you seen a pig in a gas chamber? That is absolutely horrifying, regardless of what farm it came from beforehand. And also, saying that you hate animal abuse while eating the dead flesh of an animal is cognitive dissonance. It's inconsistent. It's like saying that you hate domestic violence while beating the hell out of your girlfriend. This comment made me giggle. As an ex-vegan, it makes me so mad that they manipulate others. And by manipulate, you mean tell the truth and show the footage at slaughterhouses of exactly what happens to this animal. Manipulation is control. How are vegan activists controlling people? All they're doing is presenting the evidence and letting the people figure out themselves. And you were never vegan. You're on a plant-based diet. Once you're proper vegan, you never go back. Once you respect and understand and sympathise what happens to the animals. So as a current and future vegan, it makes me mad that you're talking rubbish. This comment, I've seen plenty of them and people doing videos too. After 8 months of being vegan, I felt like I was gonna die, so I started eating meat again and I felt great. Meat isn't this intrinsic life source for you, it doesn't improve anything. This is just a placebo effect more than anything, but the amount of people who given up on the plant-based vegan diet who said as soon as I ate meat and dairy, I felt fantastic again. It's totally ludicrous. It's not the case. And also, 8 months, that's nothing. And you felt like you were gonna die. Were you allergic to something? Were you doing something wrong? Were you eating just bread and water? I don't understand how people end up feeling ill. I went vegan overnight, literally, and I felt absolutely great and still do. As long as you eat fruit, veg, grains, legumes, all your protein and carbs are right there. You'll feel fit, healthy, and energized. This one isn't even really vegan related, and I don't know if he's referring to Joey because I didn't watch the whole video because it just annoyed me. But this guy says, I see a therapist because I'm mentally healthy. Well, what, are you trying to say that being vegan ruins your mental health? Because I've suffered with really, really bad depression for years. And let me tell you, since going vegan, my mental health has improved dramatically, as well as my physical. But what do I know? But yeah, how many people out there? I'm not saying this to be an arsehole, but how many people out there have got anxiety, depression, OCD, schizophrenia, bipolar, who are meat and dairy eaters? You know, being vegan doesn't exacerbate the symptoms, so I don't understand your point. And you know, the reason Joey, if it was relating to Joey, sees the therapist is one because of his past, and two, probably because he spends his time having to campaign and do activism for the animals. And have you seen the footage of what happens to these animals in these farms and slaughterhouses? It does get to you eventually, you know. That is going to make you feel depressed and down, you know, so people can eat a burger. Putting animals through this kind of suffering and macabre just for a burger. This comment really grabbed my attention. Uh, this person says that her family eats 90% plant, and as a result, she was born premature and she doesn't have any vision. Now, I'm registered blind myself, but I do have just a minute amount of vision, but I have to use like voiceover and stuff on my phone and computers and stuff. But 90% plant is very precise number. And what's the other 10%? Is that meat and dairy? I mean, to a meat eater, I thought that would be the ideal balanced diet as it were. But you're really going to blame fruit and veg for you being born premature and as a result, unfortunately for you, having no vision. For me, I just had shit luck. I inherited my condition, so I had the bad genetic lottery there. But you know, I don't blame diet or anything for that. I was just bad luck. But my mum was a vegetarian. But again, I inherited that, and I really don't get it. Where do people come up with these theories? I'm lost for words. So she says she's 98, 99% carnivore now to try and improve her cognitive abilities, her brain or something. But all you're going to do is raise your cholesterol and put yourself at risk of heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, and cancer in the future. You'll be fine now because you're young. In the comment, I think you said you were like 24, 25. But that'll catch up with you in the future. But again, why do people think meat is the intrinsic gatekeeper to life and emotional and physical health? Because it's not, you know. Carbs and protein easily sourced from plants and are better for you, you know. If you want to fuel your brain, get, you know, carbohydrates down here because that turns to glucose, which feeds your brain and your muscles and all your other bits and pieces. I, I don't know. That one's left me. My mind's gone numb. That comment's left me a bit flabbergasted. Another comment here trying to pick apart Joey, saying that, you know, he's ashamed of his past, so as a result, he's gone vegan to try and make himself look like a decent human being. Mental at the end, but what? Isn't being vegan decent? You know, trying to stop animals unnecessarily being slaughtered and going through torment and suffering before death. Isn't that a decent human being? I kind of thought that, you know, would classify you as a decent human being. If being vegan doesn't make you decent, then I don't know what what does. You know, I'm just saying. This one did make me giggle. Joey is obsessed with slaughterhouse footage, like some people are addicted to porn. How can you? How have you made a connection there? How have you, you know, made those two sort of link? I don't understand. Sorry, I got the giggles, but Joey uses the slaughterhouse footage and goes and stands outside slaughterhouses and takes photos and videos of the animals because they're used as his resource to then show the public and educate them. If you wanted to do a bit of DIY or fix up your car, you'd watch a how-to video online, a resource. That's exactly what Joey's doing in this case. It's a resource to help back up his argument and his evidence and his crusade to stand for change. It doesn't mean he's addicted to it. Oh, I've got giggles. Cut. Another one that made me giggle here. He appeals so much to emotion rather than truth. Now that's just called women, mate. I'm joking, joking. Jesus. But seriously, it makes me laugh because he says he also uses shaming and manipulation tactics in his arguments, but he doesn't. All he does is tell the truth by saying the animals are tormented and suffering before they die in the slaughterhouse, and then shows some footage which backs up exactly what he's saying. So he's not appealing to emotion, he presents the evidence and then it evokes emotion. And finally, the last one, just to finish off, he basically says that vegans are wasting away. They wear masks out in public when they're showing the footage to hide their acne and because they don't want to have conversations with people and accept other people's point of view. Right, well, first off, we're not wasting away. I'm mentally and physically healthier than I've ever been in my life. Uh, People who show the slaughterhouse footage out in public who wear masks, they do that so you're not looking at the individual, the activist. You're just then focused on the slaughterhouse footage. Uh, I don't know of any evidence that says veganism gives you acne. You're just making up stuff like everyone else does. I mean, I used to have quite a lot of acne on my face and dry skin, and I used to have acne on my back as well. Acne on my back cleared up. Acne on my face cleared up. My dry skin still there a bit, but nowhere near as bad as it was when I was eating meat and dairy. And on top of that, vegans do accept other people's point of view. However, we have had a complete 180 and changed our perceptions. And that's many vegans weren't born vegan. That's what people seem to forget. Many of them were like me and Joey. We used to eat meat and dairy ourselves, animal products every day, and we realised that it doesn't do any good for our bodies, and it certainly doesn't do any good for the animals who end up suffering and dying at the end of it. So we do accept people's opinions, but we're also simultaneously trying to change people's perceptions, just like ours were changed for the better. You know. So I think that's the one thing people seem to forget the most is that majority of vegans used to be meat eaters themselves. Anyway, I'm done. I hope you enjoyed the video. I've got a mushroom and rice keema with my name on it. Yummy vegan stuff. Also, I need to go get a haircut. I know for a fact anyone who watches this video and doesn't watch it to the end is either going to take the piss out of me for being vegan or for my hair. Because I know it's a mess. I can't see it. Yeah, I know it's a mess. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry it's been a while. I've got more interesting stuff coming in the future. I promise it will get better once all the COVID lockdown stuff is over. And yeah, thanks. See you again soon.